There has been a lot of head coaching vacancies in the NFL. Some have been filled, but is the NFL just recycling head coaching candidates? Let's dive in. First, before we get into the video, thank you for all your support as of so far, but I really need y'all to subscribe to the channel because I'm really trying to build my sports community. I love all the hate that I could never just not respond to. And I especially love the love. I see you guys out there and I do appreciate it. So make sure you tell your friends, anybody that's intrigued by sports, to subscribe to the channel so we could grow. Let's get it and let's get into the episode. So my first thing, the Buffalo Bills interview Philip Rivers for head coach. I mean, if this isn't recycling, I don't know what is. Probably the biggest story in the NFL this year, or most recent trending story. Philip Rivers coming back for a couple games for the Indianapolis Colts. The Buffalo Bills really canned Sean McDermott to interview Philip Rivers. I mean, Philip Rivers coaches a high school team, which is commendable. But this is a big, even if you are an ex-player and a possible future Hall of Fame. I just think this shows where the Buffalo Bills are at, especially the owner, off the noggin, just kind of loose with it right now, not thinking straight, making irrational decisions. And I don't know if this is the right way to go. And Philip Rivers is a candidate because definitely they're putting a wide net out there for a coach. Philip Rivers definitely has leadership to lead men in the NFL, and he has a high football IQ, which is definitely working in his favor. And granted, he has been a previous mentor towards Josh Allen, who would be his franchise quarterback. But with all the hype, Philip Rivers actually ended up withdrawing his name from the search, which I think was, commendable. Because I think himself, he knew he's not ready. He wasn't even ready to come back for the couple games he played this year, even though he didn't look that bad being over 40. And even though the Bills owner was making some comments regarding letting Sean McDermott go, I think he made most positive hire that he could have made, uplifting offensive coordinator Joe Brady to being the head coach. And I think, there might be some positives out of the Bills this year, but emotionally, they got to rebound from the letdown of this year. Too bad, and people are so quick to make decisions. And sometimes you got to let someone sit in their situation to really grow. And stuff doesn't happen overnight. I know you see things like Ben Johnson with the Bears and stuff, but that doesn't happen overnight. Even in the start of the season, they weren't looking that good and they rebounded and to have an incredible season. So, and not only does Michael Penix Jr. have to kind of be like, man, he messed with Shador like that. I wonder what he's going to do to me. The quarterback situation in Atlanta isn't certain because now, because of the injury to Michael Penix Jr., they probably do have to rely on Kirk Cousins, if not go in another direction. And people have really criticized, like, analysts like Skip Bayless, who I'm a big fan of. I mean, because he keeps it real all the time, even though he's hated on for that. He just went in hard on the Falcons organization for why they just quickly just made this hire for Kevin Stefanski instead of doing a deeper search if you're going to let go Raheem Morris. It's just really questionable. And the reality is there wasn't a lot of positivity coming from Kevin Stefanski with the Cleveland Browns. And the Atlanta Falcons might be just putting him in another situation that is set up to fail or is set up for a negative result. I gotta say, thumbs down on this situation or higher. This is one of the biggest situation where it looks like a recycled hire. It's like checking the resume. Oh, NFL experience? Check. Hired. Now let's move on. The Baltimore Ravens hiring Jesse Minter. Most recently was the defensive coordinator for the Los Angeles Chargers. This is his first NFL head coaching job. But unlike the Atlanta Falcons, the Baltimore Ravens did their due diligence, had over 20 interviews, and finally settled on Jesse Minter being the future of the Ravens organization as head coach. Previously, Jesse Minter was coaching on the Baltimore Ravens staff from 2017 to 2020. But now Minter replaces John Harbaugh, who was definitely a big presence in the Baltimore Ravens organization, who he also coached under. The big picture, though, it signals that the Baltimore Ravens are doubling down, that they want a future that has a strong defensive presence, especially since the defense was definitely a powerhouse, but it's kind of come up lackluster in the past couple of years. Overall, I think Jesse Minter is proven and he definitely deserves this shot. Now, lastly, Mike McCarthy back to his native grounds in Pittsburgh. He has now been hired as the head coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers. I think this is kind of a recycled candidate. I mean, I don't think it's a bad candidate or anything. I don't think it's a recycled candidate in like a bad way. And I actually think this is a good hire. A lot of people are knocking it, but I just think this is definitely someone that they could trust in. He's a Pittsburgh native, and he does have Super Bowl experience where they're trying to get back to in Pittsburgh. Mike McCarthy is only going to be the fourth coach since 1969 for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And that's saying something. And Mike McCarthy has an extensive resume, including 13 years he coached the Green Bay Packers, where he won a Super Bowl, and 5 years, the most recently, with the Dallas Cowboys. Steelers stated why they picked Mike McCarthy is his proven track record, his Super Bowl experience, his leadership skills, and his football IQ, which makes sense. And it's clear that Mike McCarthy is probably going to hire his own staff and just overhaul these coaches that have been with the Steelers for a long time. I think the special teams coach already that always has that big piece of gum in his mouth, he's already gone to, I think, the Tampa Bay Bucks. So it's already reshaping. And one thing you got to think about is the quarterback situation. The only Super Bowl that Mike McCarthy has won was with the current quarterback, Aaron Rodgers. And while Aaron Rodgers has said on the Pat McAfee show at the beginning of the season, this will be his last year, you wonder if, with the familiarity with Mike McCarthy, does he stay around for one more year? Because they don't have really a proven quarterback. I mean, who are you going to go to if Aaron Rodgers is not there? Mason Rudolph? You can answer that question, but I think this is another thing and another positive why they hired Mike McCarthy because maybe it will lure Aaron Rodgers back for maybe one more season. Because they did make the playoffs and, you know, they just couldn't get over the hump, but maybe they could do better this year with Mike McCarthy's coaching. But like always, tell me what you think. Drop a comment with your opinion. Are these coaches just recycled or are these the right moves for the organization? Make sure you subscribe to the channel. This is the Authentic Take. Until next time.